All right, guys, we're back with round 3 Edison Format Win-A-Mat at Fort Worth Regionals, hosted by Epic Cards and Games. We got a Vayu Turbo Mirror match between one of my good friends, Randy Nguyen, on the left, and David Provinsil on the right. So it looks like David's going first. He summons Greffer, discards Necrogardna, and sends Plague. So quick intro on these two players. David's been on the channel before. He's kind of a regular. He's been in the finals 5 times, actually, but he's gotten second 4 times. Twice with Vayu Turbo and twice with Gadgets. So this is round 3, 22-man single elimination tournament. We're fighting for a Light and Darkness Dragon mat. Randy Nguyen, again, this is the first time on the channel. He hasn't played just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general in years, so he might be a bit rusty. We'll see how he does. He's still a great player. He's actually on he's one of my good friends. He used to be on my team. But I don't think he's played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In like more than a decade. And he hasn't joined any Edison locals. He just started playing Dueling Book recently. So we'll see how he does. Alright. So Randy summons Greffer, sets Vayu and Sirocco, trying to just get rid of that Greffer as soon as possible. So his Armwing gets D-Prison and he tries to crash, but David protects with Necro. Alright, so standard opening for both these players. Greffer, 1 back row. Now, which back row did Randy set? Could be bottomless, could be D-Prison, who knows? Now, David still has Plague. He could, if he has like another Vayu, that's also really good for David. I don't play as much Vayu as like some of my other locals, but when I do play Vayu, the mirror is just, it's not bad, but it's just the die roll is huge. That's what I noticed the few times I've played Vayu mirrors. Okay, so David Caius's Randy's Greffer and attacks him directly, and Randy couldn't stop either. So Randy just drew Vayu. Was not a very good draw. I don't know. I sometimes think 3 Greffer might be correct, but almost everyone plays 2-2. 2 Arma, 2 Greffer. Okay, so Randy sends Necro. Probably, yeah, he's probably trying to protect his Armageddon so that he can either A, Caius, or make level 6 with Plague. Ooh, David drew Solemn. So David's got Solemn, and I think Randy's back row, I couldn't see what it was. Alright, so he attacks, protects. So David didn't have anything to, like, get rid of the Armageddon Knight. So now, here comes Caius. Does David Solemn the Caius? I mean, he probably, depends on what his other 2 back rows are. So he does Solemn. So now we're at 4,046. Oh, Randy drew Sirocco. So Randy's hands like Sirocco, Vayu, Plague, Burial. So this is something that I found was weird. So Randy uses Burial now, which he could have waited. He could have chained, like, David attacks, chain, Burial. Unless he's trying to bluff a Gores. But if he did have the Gores, he would have just, you know, used it. So I think that, I don't know why he did it there. That's just probably rust on Randy's end. Has David used MST? I don't know. Yeah, that's one. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but maybe you could have, like, maybe David here doesn't attack with Caius at all. I don't know. That's just my guess. All right, so let's see what Randy does. Is David gonna pass? Vayu, Sirocco, and Plague. He can't deal with the... Actually, now he can deal with the Caius, thanks to his Armwing. Yeah, he can banish Vayu for Armwing. Special summon Greffer. Ooh. That sucks. So when I play Vayu, I tend not to main deck Oppression, but I see a lot of deck lists, they usually play 1. Almost no one is playing 2 anymore. Everyone plays 1 or 0. Occasionally you'll see someone play 2. And yeah, it's not looking good for Randy. His hand is Plague, Vayu, staring down Caius, and Oppression. Nah, that's not good. Oppression, or well-timed Oppression can be really good in the mirror. Like if you Oppression their Plague, their Dark Arm, their Return. Okay, so here, Randy took 1,000 from the Caius burn. So Randy set Plague and 1 back row. David normal summons Vayu. So let's see, is David going to go for game? If he thinks it's a Raikou, Okay, so it's, yeah, that's game. So David takes game one. Randy overall played well. The only thing I didn't agree with was like the burial play, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's just like a little small thing that he could have done differently. All right. So Randy opens Dust Shoot. Oh man, that card wins games. But you can draw it dead sometimes. It's one of those cards where like I don't want to play it, but I see it win so many games. Let's see if it wins the game for Randy. So David's hand is MST, Torrential, Caius, Vayu, Armageddon, and Greffer. And I think I saw Crow in Randy's hand, so he's probably he's gonna send the Caius. All right, so Torrential MST. So does David MST the back row first, or does he just go right into the Greffer play? Let's see what he does. I mean, that's Raiko or Hamster. I don't know. I'd probably MST. Just to make sure I don't get to. But you think, I mean, you're making the read that it's Raiko, right? No, or Hamster. It's either Raiko or Hamster. So if I was David, I probably would have MST'd that back row. Yeah, we'll probably. Oh, that could have been Hamster, but it was Raiko. So he mills. Oh, mills of Vayu. I always say this like in every video when I watch Vayu Turbo play. When Vayu players mill well, the deck is like, it's so hard to beat. And Randy mills play, but at least he with a dark arm, so David doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so 8,061. I gotta make sure I get the life points correct. So Card Trooper. Oh, gotta be careful there. What can David do? David's taking a while because this duel is sped up a bit. All right, Randy's got Crow, but David still has Armageddon Knight. Yeah. So it didn't matter what Randy crowed there. He was gonna get a Vayu player regardless. And we know David still has the MST. So Randy takes what, 1,000? Yeah, it's first damage. Randy just drew Burial. So 2 back rows. One of them we believe is Torrential. Okay. So we know all of David's cards. He's got the MST in his hand. And he probably said the Torrential. So what would David... So... What was the back row that Randy said? Was it... What happened to it? I think it was a deep prison, right? Anyways, Randy sends Armageddon. So yeah, Randy knows all his cards. I'm sure he remembers what it is. That's the thing about Trap Dust Shoot. Online, you can write the cards down, but in person, as the game goes on, you might forget. That's why I feel like it probably should be legal to write down notes. Because I remember one time my friend Toby, he walked into a Mirror Force, he forgot. All right, so Randy's hand is like, oh, it's Burial Return. That's Randy's hand. So he knows David has MST, so he's probably gonna. He doesn't want to get the returned MST. So I'm guessing he set Burial. Yeah, good play by Randy. Sends back Vayu. Now David uses his own Vayu and Armwing. So he does attack him for 23. So what's Randy's life? 47-61. So Randy's hand is Compulse and Return. And I think, does he have another card in hand? So does Randy go for the... So he's going to bring out the 2,500. Yeah, the 2,500 Armor Master. Gets Mirror Force. Now Randy's got Return and whatever other back row he drew. So 24-61. 1,000 from Trooper. Can Randy? No, he doesn't have another Vayu. So he can't. Yeah, he only had one Vayu. So Return is actually not good yet. Maybe Randy should have banished the Sirocco instead to make his return better. And just crash the arm wings. It's possible. But then he would have got Mirror Force anyway, but at least he would have had the Sirocco banished for return. If you could bring back those synchros with return, Vayu would be even better than it already is. They would just kill you with return like every game. Okay, so Randy tops for Plague, makes a 6. Goyo's the arm wing. David takes what, 500? Okay, so 56-24. So did David set Raiko or hamster? I think David might be on no hamsters. We haven't seen it. All right, so he pops the Goyo modes, mind control, Vayu, and Burgo. So he's probably. I think a lot of Vayu players side deck mind control. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So David got 1 back row, 1 card in hand. Randy's return, and so David pokes him again. So now Randy's at 2K. All right, 2 back rows each. Randy sets another back row. Who's going to move on? David or Randy? So far, it's been a good match. Both players have overall played well. The only thing this game, I think Randy could have maybe. I get why he did it, but he could have. Like I said, he could have maybe done this. Oh, David's going for game. Okay, so we're 18-56. So Randy bottomless is a Sirocco. Or he's thinking about it. So so David has a normal summoned. Oh, I see what David's going to do. I think he's going to compulse a Sirocco. Yeah, so they're still in the battle phase. So 16. So he leaves Randy at 200. Yeah, 200-56. And he's going to tribute Vayu for what? Sirocco? Yeah, tribute summon Sirocco. And then at the end phase, he can the Vayu's going to get banished. The only issue here is Randy could kill him with since he left his Sirocco up, he could if he can get rid of the Sirocco in his graveyard, yeah, he can pump and attack over the Raiko. Yeah, this is game. Yep. I was thinking Sirocco, pump. So Sirocco went up to 4K. He had a Vayu in there. All right, so game 3. Who's going to move on, Randy or David? So David went first, allures away the Vayu. So D-Prison, it's either Raiko or Hamster. The standard opening for... Oh, he does play Hamster. Yeah, sometimes you use this play happens often. You walk into Hamster hoping it's Raiko. This is why a lot of people don't set Raiko turn 1. Randy's hand's okay, though. He's got Plague, Return. Yeah, I know he has Plague, Return, and DD Crow in his hand. Foolish. Which some Vayu players don't play. Actually, Randy sent me his deck list that he wanted me to build for him to play at the region. I told him, some people don't play... what's the card? Foolish. I was actually talking to the guy who won the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament at... Shout out to him, Eric. He was telling me about whether he doesn't play Foolish, but he said it might be good. All right, so I think David pumped there. Yeah, so it's 28, 31, 41. So Randy takes 41. Randy takes 33. Let me reset life. So Randy already lost more than half his life, 37 to 8K. I think Randy drew Dark Arm, but David has a Stardust. So both his back rows must be really good. All right, summon Armageddon. Send Sirocco, so he's got Arma. Attack the Raiko. So we know David has 1 D Prison back there. So he chooses to get rid of the Armageddon Knight. Trying to protect the Raiko. Yeah, this is not looking too good for Randy. I mean, he's got Return, Foolish, Crow, Plague. Those are the cards I can see. And Dark Arm. Okay, so that's his hand. Return, Foolish, Plague, Crow, Dark Arm. But that Stardust is just hurting Randy really bad. If it wasn't for Stardust, he could just drop the Dark Arm, and we all know Dark Arm wins games. So he's got a lot of choices. He can like Foolish. But you know he has Raikou, so you can't even set the return because your return is just going to get popped. Maybe Randy could have like set both and hope for the 50-50 there. But he's really low on life, so he's just going to Foolish Necro Gardener. So in case David doesn't kill him. Alright, Dark Arm play. Yeah, he can't really do much. There's not much he can do. You set the return, it's going to get popped by Raikou. So he does set it, hoping that maybe David won't flip it. That's not a bad move. Maybe David won't flip it because he's gonna think he set like MST or something or Compulse. But let's see if David takes the base. So David's not gonna risk it. So here he mills. What did David mill? I can see what he milled. All right, 37. Rhoda. Does he get Greffer or yeah? No, he gets Armageddon Knight. Oh, he milled a Necro and a Sirocco. So now he has a Vayu play. So Randy Crow's Randy's defeated. I guess it didn't matter. Randy could have waited for the effect, but I think he's just like. So this is what, 39. So Randy's gonna be forced. Yeah, Randy's gonna be forced to Necro. And then he blocks. So Dark Arm, Plague. What can Randy do? Dark Arm, Plague. He Foolish to Necro, so he had Dark Arm, Plague. So he drops the Dark Arm. And basically you just gotta hope that David's back row is not real. So you gotta run over the Stardust. If he can kill the Stardust, then yeah, and then you wipe his board and you're in an okay spot. So it all comes down to that last back row. Let's see what it is. Vayu, Sirocco. Does he have Plague in hand? Oh, okay. So now he can make Stardust. Alright. So Stardust. I think he makes Stardust here, right? Yeah, Stardust. Oh no, he goes for Dark End. He could have made Stardust. I guess this is not a bad play either. Send the Stardust, and now you can just pop his field. I mean, David didn't stop anything. You got to pop that back row. Okay, good. I guess it didn't matter whether he made Stardust or Dark End. Now you just wipe his field. Yeah, so he takes 14 and 200s, 14, 19, it's 23, 33. So Randy came back. He fought out of it. What's his back row? What's the last card in Randy's hand? So how does David come back? Staring down Dark Arm and Dark End. Would Stardust have been better there, or was Dark End the right move? Either play was fine, but actually, since he went for Dark End, this just might be game. I mean, he's game regardless. I think this is game. Oh, Randy! I think Randy has MST. He's still got Plague. So he chooses to use Dark End's effect. Summon Greffer. So that thing's at 16. David's at 47. So David must have... Does he have Necro in there or Gores? So 16. 17. So he's forced to drop the Gores. And now he can attack the token. Or the Gores itself. It doesn't matter which one. That ugly ghost Gores that I always tell people about. Alright. So he pops one. Sets MST, I believe. So David's got two. How does David get out? This is staring on Dark Arm, Dark End. Randy could have just... I think Randy could have popped, but I guess he wants to save the darks. That's why he sent... Okay, so here he can like Goyo the Dark End. Oh, yeah. He can Goyo the Dark End. Goyo Darken, and then send Dark Armed, and Randy's. Yeah, so it was at 16. So he takes 12. But Randy's got his own plague, so Randy can Goyo him back. Yeah. Randy can Goyo him back, take his dark end back. Yeah, take his dark end back. And then send. So this is crazy. Yeah, take dark end. Oh, David still had a Necro from a long time ago. Yeah, I think Randy forgot. So did I. And that is game. So David fought back. That was a good third game. I think that Randy didn't play too terrible. There was nothing that I saw that was too bad. But anyways, congrats to David. He's moving on to round 4. I think the Dark End play was not bad. I was thinking he could have also made Stardust, but Dark End was good too. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that match. Congrats, Randy. Well, good job making it to round 3. First tournament in years. And we'll see if David can get that win. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be back soon for round 4. Bye, guys.